All right, that is the sharpest looking man in show business there. Up next, Daphne Leger, CMO of Frogtek, Chief Marketing and Sales at Frogtek, social entrepreneurship with nonprofit dedicated to creating business tools for small businesses in emerging markets. They develop mobile applications for SMBs, specifically designed for the bottom of the pyramid, base of the pyramid, excuse me. Let's hear it for Daphne Leger.
Thank you. So I joined Frogtek because it had a viable model that was creating social impact at the base of the pyramid. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. First though, I want to clear something up, because I think when people hear social enterprise, this is what they think about. That's not quite what we're up to. It really is about making money, it's just that the social impact is built into our business model and reinforces that. And I think some people are uncomfortable with this idea that business has an obligation. As Milton Friedman says, the social responsibility of business is to increase profits. We're not disagreeing with that, but I think it's about moving the conversation away from responsibility to talk about opportunity. So as Michael Porter says, it's about moving from society's needs and challenges which create business opportunities. So I think the idea is let's move away from those trade-offs about impact versus profit and instead find new opportunities to optimize for both. At Frogtek, that means working with Carmen. She's a shopkeeper here in Mexico City, and she uses a little notebook just like this to manage her shop. That kind of paper-based accounting means that she's not really pricing her products correctly, she's not managing her inventory very well, and overall she just doesn't know how to make her shop do better. There are 1 million shops like Carmen's in Mexico. Most are family businesses, and most are run in this suboptimal manner, which leads to high rates of failure for these micro-entrepreneurs and their families. On the other side, we've got Edgar. He's a brand manager at Bimbo. For big consumer packaged goods companies like Bimbo, little shops like Carmen's represent 2/3 of profits, and they're where the next decade of growth is going to come from. But the problem is that Edgar has zero visibility into what's actually happening at this level of the market, with his products and others. And so he doesn't know how to operate it the best that it can be. What we do at Frogtek is we take Edgar's problem and Carmen's problem and turn them into an opportunity through an innovative solution we call Tiendatek. Essentially what Tiendatek does is create a network effect. We give the Carmens of the world smart technology to better manage their business so they can make up to 30% more in their shops. And through the network of Carmens that's generating data, we give Edgar's market insights that they've never had before so they can optimize this channel that they work in. The idea is with each new Carmen and each new Edgar, the value of the network grows. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things we think about as a social enterprise. I think some of them are very much business as usual, and others are kind of unique twists that we have to deal with. The first thing is around design. When you're working with the base of the pyramid, you can't just tweak for them, you really have to design for them. So this is a traditional point of sale system. It's got some pretty intricate interfaces, takes up a decent amount of space because of all the cool bells and whistles, and it's got somewhat of a steep learning curve and setup phase because it's made for people who are coming from the PC world. So we really couldn't use this as a base. We had to start from scratch. We spent a lot of time in shops with shopkeepers, and this is Tiendatek. It's a tablet-based solution. It's got big, bright buttons. It's really plug-and-play for this kind of shop, and intuitive to use. It also takes no space because there is no space in a little shop like these. As one shopkeeper told me the other day, his niece and nephew, who are 6 years old, learned how to use it in about half a day, and now when they help out in the shop, they fight over who gets to check out customers with Tiendatek. That's the kind of ease of use that we were going for. But the forte of traditional point-of-sale system is that they give you some really powerful data to make informed decisions as a manager. Yet when we showed our shopkeepers this kind of data, we literally saw their eyes glaze over and their posture lean back. It was just daunting and impractical for them. They didn't know what to do with it. So we had to think about how to turn this into something they could actually use. What it means for the shopkeeper is some really quick, easy, actionable tips that they can actually do something with. So for example, the data is telling us that you sell cereal more than anything on Saturday mornings. The tip is stock up on Saturday mornings so you make the most of that sales pattern. When you do a lot of these little tips in a small shop, it makes a big difference. And that's the second thing that we spend a lot of time thinking about at Frogtek, impact. So when you're working with the base of the pyramid, it's really important to either be increasing the livelihoods or improving the quality of life of your customer. I'm not talking about charity here, and I'm not talking about taking a high-end product and creating a cheap knockoff. I'm really talking about creating a strong value proposition so that you create willingness to pay for this particular segment. The thing is, when you have very little money, every purchase is a strategic investment decision. It sounds counterintuitive, but poor people can't afford cheap things. They need quality, reliability, and results. We learned that the hard way at Frogtek because we initially started with a pretty cheap, good enough tablet. And it turned out that because we were making these shopkeepers rely on this technology, it had to be foolproof and never fail. So we ended up having to upgrade the technology, and we found that if we deliver enough impact, they're willing to pay for that upgrade. This is the kind of impact we're going for, deep impact in the shops through increased sales and profits. We also go for wide impact through a newsletter where we just give it for free to a lot more shopkeepers than our current client base, full of tips and recommendations on improving the management of your store. So in general, when we think about impact at Frogtek, we're always thinking about how to create value for both sides of this network, and of course, always capture some of that value as well. If there's one takeaway that I want to leave you with today, it's that social enterprise does not belong in the realm of fantasy Disney characters. It belongs in the realm of innovators who see an opportunity and optimize around it. And the point is that once social impact is a part of your business model, it's really very natural and very strategic to think always about profit and impact at once because they reinforce each other. It does require some creativity to deal with some of the challenge, but I think that's why we all got into this innovation space in the first place. So I hope we'll get out there and stop making that old trade-off of impact versus profit and really optimize around not one, but two bottom lines. Thank you very much.